Hello there, good evening and Salam Malaysia Madani. You're watching Malaysia Tonight with me, Shuhaida Arifin. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim today announced an increase of the paddy price subsidy scheme SSHP rate from RM360 to RM500 per metric ton of paddy production effective tomorrow. The Premier, when announcing the good news, said with the increase, paddy farmers in the country would receive at least RM1,700 per metric ton of their paddy production, giving them a better income.
Hari ini kenaikan terbesar dalam sejarah. Kenaikan yang paling akhir masa Anwar Ibrahim Menteri Kewangan dulu. Maknanya pesawah secara purata akan mendapat RM1,700 satu metrik tan.
Datuk Seri Anwar noted that increase in the rate will involve an annual expenditure of RM1 billion. To address the issue of grading and classification of rice grains, the Premier said discussions will be held with the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to deploy agricultural officers to private rice mills specifically to monitor the process and prevent manufacturers from doing it without adhering to the established standards. Datuk Seri Anwar said the Finance Ministry will consider increasing allocations for the implementation of the 5-season paddy cultivation within 2 years. On another note, the Prime Minister said public acceptance towards the Pakatan Harapan PH and Barisan Nasional BN alliance has been much better compared with the 15th general election GE15 last year. Datuk Seri Anwar, who's also PH chairman, said that so far he could see positive vibes among the people, especially in the 6 states involved in the upcoming elections on 12 August.
Jadi sebab dulu dia dengar yang semua negatif. Anwar akan tarik balik hak orang Islam, akan bagi skirt. Ini dia fitnah jadi budaya, jadi orang percaya. Sebahagiannya dah tengok tak jadi. Pelajar-pelajar tak pakai skirt sekarang. Jadi saya itu merubah sikit.
The PKR President said this after meeting with the people of Sungai Bakap at the Perda Tasik booth Simpang 4 today. He was commenting on the views of political analysts that the state elections will maintain the status quo, that the PHBN alliance will remain in power in Pulau Pinang, Selangor and Negeri Sembilan, while Perikatan Nasional in Kedah, Kelantan and Terengganu. Earlier in his speech, Datuk Seri Anwar reiterated that the State Bumiputra Development Council has been reactivated to empower the socio-economic aspects and human capital of Bumiputra Madani in Pulau Pinang. The early voter turnout for the 6 state elections and the Kuala Terengganu parliamentary by-election was over 95% in 4 states. The turnout for the Kuala Terengganu by-election stood at 95.47%. According to the Election Commission, Kedah and Terengganu had the highest turnout at 96% and 95% respectively, followed by Selangor, Pulau Pinang, Negeri Sembilan and Kelantan. Today's early voting process involved 49,660 military personnel and 47,728 police personnel and their spouses in the 6 states, while 1,362 police personnel and 35 military personnel and their spouses are involved in the early voting process for the Kuala Terengganu by-election. A total of 260 early voting centres involving 377 channels for the Kedah, Kelantan, Terengganu, Pulau Pinang, Selangor and Negeri Sembilan elections opened simultaneously at 8 a.m. Also open were 3 early voting centres for the Kuala Terengganu parliamentary by-election at the Terengganu Contingent Police Headquarters. Police have opened 78 investigation papers into alleged electoral misconduct on the campaign trail so far, of which 20 cases are in Selangor. Deputy Inspector General of Police Datuk Seri Ayub Khan Maidin Piche said police have received no reports involving 3R issues in Selangor itself and urged politicians to stay clear of the topic in the remaining campaign period.
Kita harap benda ini berterusan hingga habis election nanti, sehingga habis kemudian 12 Ogos kita harap tidak ada isu dengan 3R yang dibangkitkan oleh ahli-ahli politik, tak kira pada politik sebelah mana, kan, dua-dua belah pihak. Jangan mengeksploitasi dengan menggunakan isu-isu 3R dalam kempen itu. Kalau ada, kita akan tindakan tegas.
Met at the Selangor Police Headquarters, he said a total of 518 police reports have been lodged in Selangor in connection with the state election so far, adding that a total of 20 investigation papers have been opened. He was accompanied by Selangor Police Chief Commissioner Datuk Hussein Omar Khan and Deputy Commissioner Datuk S. Sasikala Devi. Evacuates tens of thousands of scouts ahead of typhoon. That and more coming up in our foreign segment. China today renewed calls for the Philippines to remove an aging ship from a reef which Manila uses to press its stake in the Spratly Islands in defiance of Beijing's claim to nearly the entire South China Sea. The move comes after the Philippines at the weekend accused the China Coast Guard of firing water cannon against boats on a resupply mission to its garrison station on the grounded vessel. The BRP Sierra Madre has long been a flashpoint between Manila and Beijing. The handful of Philippine Marines deployed on the crumbling vessel depend upon resupply missions to survive the remote postings. Beijing has defended its action as professional and accused Manila of illegal delivery of construction materials to the grounded ship. Tens of thousands of scouts were being evacuated from their South Korean campsite ahead of a typhoon, as the scout chief said the challenges were unprecedented in a century of global jamborees. The massive event, which brought together about 43,000 scouts to a campsite in South Korea's North Jeolla province, had been very unlucky with the unprecedented heat wave and now the typhoon. At the sprawling campsite in Buant on Tuesday, tens of thousands of scouts were packing up their tents and belongings and queuing up to get onto buses with Korea's special forces on hand to help with the evacuation. The government sent more than 1,000 buses to move the mostly teenage scouts from the site, saying they will be accommodated in university dormitories and other public facilities in Seoul and other provinces. Interior Minister Lee Sang-min said that the government would ensure participants could be safe and comfortable at their new lodgings, vowing that the Jamboree program would continue. Now, moving in Vietnam, at least 9 were killed after landslides and floods were triggered in the Southeast Asian country. The state media VTV reported today that various provinces in both north and south of the country inundated by floodwater, which left several roads damaged and motorists stranded. Heavy downpours with precipitation readings of 100 to 200 millimeters have been recorded in Vietnam's northern region since 4th August. Vietnam's Prime Minister also issued a notice requesting local authorities to increase their response and provide aid to affected areas. Israel's army demolished a home of the Palestinian accused of killing a soldier and his brother in the occupied West Bank, which has been months of violence. Palestinian news agency Wafa said Israeli forces had entered Nablus during the night to destroy the third-floor home of Abdel Fattah Khorshant in Askar camp. Witnesses told AFP soldiers had clashed with Palestinians, some of them armed, as they entered the city. The Palestinian Red Crescent said 6 Palestinians were wounded, including 1 by live ammunition. The army had accused Khorsha of shooting dead a soldier and his brother in February as they drove through the West Bank town of Huwara. Israeli forces killed Khorsha, 49, during a raid the following month. Rescue workers combed through the rubble of damaged buildings in the city of Pokrovsk in eastern Ukraine the day after Russian strikes killed at least 7 people. Pokrovsk sits just 50 kilometers from the eastern front line, where Moscow says it is gaining ground and repelling Ukrainian attacks. 2 missiles launched 40 minutes apart damaged a residential building, a hotel, catering establishments, shops and administrative buildings. According to Ukraine's Internal Affairs Ministry, 7 people died and 67 were wounded, including 2 children. Those killed included a high-ranking emergency official of Donetsk region. The city had a pre-war population of around 60,000 people. In sport, Malaysia to face India in Pesta Bola Merdeka Panggon Ice title. Harimau Malaya squad were drawn against India in the second match of the Pesta Bola Merdeka 2023 on 13 October at the National Stadium in Bukit Jalil. In the draw ceremony in Petaling Jaya, the first match of the tournament will involve the tie between Palestine and Lebanon, also on 13 October to determine the final slot against the second match winner that will be held on 17 October. Commenting on the draw, Harimau Malaya head coach Kim Panggon said that they have full respect for India as well as 2 other teams as they are ranked higher than the national team in the FIFA ranking.
As we understand where we are, ranking, we are much improved this moment, but still 136. But India is 99. We monitor India from last year, but especially this year, they have very good momentum. I think they all win or draw in the stage. So we are fully respect this Indian team. So I think we will analysis about our Indian team. We will have a very good preparation for this tournament.
Based on the head-to-head record, Malaysia, who played twice against India in 2011, had lost 2-3 and drew 1-1 in a friendly match. In the meantime, Panggon had set a target to clinch the title and hoped that Malaysian supporters will turn up to support the home team in Bukit Jalil. Milos Raonic showed the mighty serve that lifted him to tennis upper echelons is still firing after a 2-year injury layoffs as the Canadian downed Francis Tiafoe 6-7, 7-6, 6-3 in the first round of the Canadian Open. Raonic, a former world number 3 who returned to the tour in June, crushed his 37 ace on match point in front of an adoring crowd and set up a second-round meeting with Japan's Taro Daniel. The marathon first set tie-break ended in controversy when Tiafoe charged forward to hit a winner but touched the net. Raonic got revenge on his 9th-seeded opponent in the second set breaker, pumping his first after firing an unreturnable serve to level the match at a set apiece. The 32-year-old then broke early in the third and fended off a break point in the match final game in securing the emotional victory, which marked his first appearance on home soil since 2019. Earlier, Frenchman Gael Monfils put on an impressive display of speed and skill to beat American Christopher Eubanks 7-6, 6-7, 6-1 to advance to the second round. After capturing the first set, Monfils had match points while leading 6-5 in the second, but Eubanks was able to serve his way out of the trouble to set up another tie break. Eubanks battled back from a 4-1 deficit in the second set breaker and leveled the match with a perfectly executed serve and volley in the first meeting between the pair of popular players. but Monfils broke Eubanks in the first game to jump out to an early lead he would not relinquish in the deciding set. The point of the match came when the 36-year-old Monfils raced down balls before pushing a passing shot past Eubanks for a 4-1 lead as fans leaped out of the seats and Monfils let out a triumphant roar. Next up for Monfils is a second-round meeting with Stefanos Tsitsipas, who enjoyed the first round bye at the Masters 1000 tournament. Switzerland goalkeeper Jan Sommer has joined Inter Milan from Bayern Munich, both clubs said on Monday. The length of Sommer's contract with Inter has not been specified, but the transfer fee from Bayern Munich is estimated at €6 million. The 34-year-old, who has 83 caps for Switzerland, only joined Bayern in January to replace Manuel Neuer, who suffered a serious right knee fracture during a skiing trip in early December. His contract was not due to expire until 2025, but Neuer is expected to reclaim the starting berth as soon as he's fit. Sommer spent most of his career in Germany, spending 9 years with Borussia Mönchengladbach before moving to Bayern. Next on our business segment, telcos commit to support Madani economy through affordable connectivity devices. Telecommunication service providers are committed to supporting the government's Madani economy framework through affordable connectivity and devices and will continue to work closely as an industry to further narrow the digital divide. In a joint statement today, 5 telecommunication service providers said they welcome the government's latest announcement of the 5G Rahmah package and Rahmah Civil Servants Postpaid Incentive in conjunction with the National Month celebrations. The statements said the 5G Rahmah package and Rahmah Civil Servant Postpaid Incentive will be launched on 31st August this year, and customers are advised to check the service providers' websites for the available packages. The companies consist of Celcom Digi Berhad, Maxis Berhad, Telekom Malaysia Berhad Unify Mobile, U Mobile Sendirian Berhad, and YTL Communications Sendirian Berhad Yes. Under the Rahmah Civil Servants Postpaid Incentive, civil servants will be able to enjoy a monthly rebate of RM10 for their respective postpaid mobile package. While the 5G Rahmah package is a 5G device bundle data plan, priced at RM60 a month with the choice of either Samsung A14 5G or Honor 90 Lite 5G at prices as low as RM240. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadillah Yusof today urged palm oil mill operators throughout the country to embrace sustainable practices in the industry. He also suggested for them to experiment with innovative methods and strategies to add value to the palm oil production chain and enhance their overall competitiveness. Datuk Seri Fadillah, who is also Minister of Plantation and Commodities, shared a positive development, noting the European Union's recognition of the Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil MSPO certification scheme as a benchmark for the country's effort to ensure responsible practices in the industry.
Malaysia's economy grew at 5.6% in the first quarter of 2023, or Q1 2023. Which also saw an increase of 5% in the palm oil sectors from 9.5 billion ringgit in the first quarter of 2022 to 10 billion ringgit in quarter 1 2023.
He said this at the Palm Oil Milling Technology Exhibition and Conference POMTEC 2023 in Miri. On another note, Datuk Seri Fadillah said Malaysia should not be regarded as a high-risk country in terms of deforestation, and it would be unfair for the EU to put the country as the benchmark for compliance with the EU deforestation-free regulation. He stressed that Malaysia will continue to discuss the matter in future meetings of a joint task force JTF, which also include the EU and Indonesia. A total of 91.5% or 1,913 affordable housing projects using the Industrial Building System (IBS) have been developed by government-appointed developers as of last year. The figure, according to Works Minister Datuk Seri Alexander Nantalinggi, showed an increase in affordable housing construction projects using the technology compared with 1,180 in 2021.
Ialah sekarang kerajaan ada program untuk mengadakan 1 juta rumah mampu milik ni, ya. Jadi inilah ia dilaksanakan pada 2018 dulu sehingga 2028, ya, untuk menyediakan 1 juta rumah mampu milik. Ini menggunakan teknologi IBS lah.
The minister was met after the launch of IBS Homes and IBS Home Catalogue in conjunction with Build 2023 today. He also encouraged those who own private land to build houses using the IBS system as it can reduce labour and save construction time. Malaysia is poised to surpass its international tourist arrival target for this year by achieving an arrival of at least 18 million visitors, exceeding the initial target of 16.1 million tourists. Director General of Tourism Malaysia, Dato' Dr. Amma Abdul Ghaffar, said the target was set based on various factors, namely the increase in airline frequency, expansion of chartered operating flights, and the allure of year-end holidays, which are expected to further bolster visitor numbers. Elaborating further on the matter, the Tourism DG said Malaysia recorded 4.5 million tourist arrivals in the first quarter of this year, adding that an announcement will be made soon on the incentives to be given for chartered flight operators in the country to boost tourism. He said this was necessary as Malaysia cannot depend on scheduled flights alone to boost tourism. Dato' Dr. Amma said this when officiating the Jordan Tourism Board Roadshow and Business Dinner recently. Meanwhile, Charge d'Affaires of the Embassy of Jordan to Malaysia, Bilal Al-Nasur, said tourism plays a vital role in today's modern economy, noting that Jordan and Malaysia, which are moderate Muslim countries, enjoy steady progress in diplomatic relations since 1965. Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM) is expected to maintain the overnight policy rate OPR at 3.0% for the next 6 to 12 months, given the persistent downward trajectory of both headline and core inflation. Kenanga Research said in a note today, however, looking ahead, the possibility of a price shift in food and commodities due to the uncertainties surrounding government policies, geopolitical risks and weather conditions could significantly impact the inflation outlook. While the ringgit's recent appreciation towards the $4.50 per US dollar threshold was short-lived, Kenanga Research upheld its neutral to bullish stance on the local notes trajectory in the next 3 to 6 months due to the weak greenback outlook. Malaysia's Industrial Production Index (IPI) fell 2.2% year-on-year in June 2023, attributed to a contraction in the manufacturing and mining sectors. Chief Statistician Datuk Seri Muhammad Uzir Mahidin said the manufacturing sector saw a decline of 1.6% in June, while the mining sector recorded negative 6.4%. The output of the electricity sector, meanwhile, moderated to 2.8% as against 5.9% recorded in the preceding month. On a month-on-month comparison, the IPI grew by 2.2% as compared to 7.3% registered in the previous month. Datuk Seri Muhammad Uzir said the deterioration in the manufacturing output in June 2023 was influenced primarily by the decline of 3.9% in export-oriented industries. Overall, the second quarter of 2023, the IPI registered a marginal decline of 0.3% as compared to the 2.9% growth recorded in the first quarter of 2023. The mining sector decreased by 2.8% and the manufacturing sector rose slightly by 0.1%, while the electricity generation increased by 2.8%, continuing an upward trend for 2 consecutive quarters. On another note, DOSM said natural rubber or NR production grew by 23.8% to 29,867 tonnes in June 2023 from 24,126 tonnes in May 2023, mainly contributed by the smallholders sector. Dr. Terima said the smallholder sector contributed 85.9% of the NR output during the month, while the estates sector contributed 14.1%. However, year-on-year comparison showed that production decreased by 3.9% from 31,083 tonnes in June 2022. On the country's NR exports, he said, they amounted to 48,857 tonnes in June 2023, up 31.8% from 37,062 tonnes in May 2023. China remained the main destination for NR exports, which accounted for 50.6% of total exports in June 2023, followed by Germany, the United States, Pakistan and Iran.
Esports and gaming, then be sure to stay tuned to RTM because something new is coming.
Satu hati dengan semangat kesukanan. Perjuangan dalam keharmonian. Sukan Asia ke-19 Hangzhou 2022 bersama RTM, penyiar rasmi.
And that wraps up Malaysia Tonight. A reminder of our top story. Paddy price subsidy scheme increased to RM500. I'm Syuaida Arifin, Malaysia Madani, tekad perpaduan penuhi harapan. Have a pleasant evening.